We are now on the fourth quarter of this school year. In this quarter, we will learn and explore more about Earth and space. The Earth is composed of three components, which are lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Lithosphere are the terrestrial components or the land part of the Earth. Hydrosphere are the waters on the Earth. And atmosphere are the air or gaseous covering above the Earth. This quarter will cover these three components. Today, we will focus on terrestrial or the land part of the Earth. Soil covers most of the land part of the Earth. It is very important natural resource on Earth. It is made up of tiny particles of rocks and decayed plants and animals. It also contains water and some gases needed by plants and other living organisms. Are you ready to explore the terrestrial components of the Earth? Okay, but before that, let me see first if you can still remember the characteristics of the following landforms. 1. A piece of land surrounded by water. 2. A low-lying areas of land between hills and mountains. 3. Flat highlands. 4. Landform that rises prominently above the surroundings and it's larger than hills. And number 5, lowlands along valleys. Wow! Great job, kids! You have answered all correctly. We can now go on to our lesson today. Type of soil and their characteristics. At the end of this video lesson, you are expected to identify different types of soil based on their physical characteristics. Compare and contrast the characteristics of different types of soil as to their particle, size, texture, color, and water absorbability. Identify the importance of soil to living things. And investigate the characteristics of different types of soil as to their ability to grow plants. Soil covers most of the land part of the earth. We find plants, animals, houses, and other organisms on the soil. We live on the soil and it helps us in many ways. There are 4 types of soil. These are clay, sand, loam, and silt. Clay is composed of very small and extremely fine particles of weathered rock. It has poor water drainage. The water is absorbed slowly and it's retained for a long time. The water clogs in the soil that limits the plant roots from getting oxygen. When clay soil is dry, it becomes hard. When it is wet, it is sticky. This soil can be used in making pots. Another one is sand. Sand is mostly found in the beaches or seashores. It is the result of weathering and disintegration of the variety of rocks such as granite, limestone, and quartz. It has a coarse texture. It has low water retention ability. It cannot hold water and nutrients well. Water easily passes through the sand soil. Loam is a soil mixture that has a good amount of sand, silt, and Clay. It is the best soil for growing plants. The clay and silt help retain the moisture or water and nutrients from the soil, while the sand keeps the soil from pressing too much. The combination allows water drainage and provide good flow of air. It is an ideal soil for growing plants all year round. It does not dry out in summer and or clog with water during rainy days. The last one is silt. Silt is made up of rock material and mineral particles that are larger than clay but smaller than sand. It is created when rock is eroded or worn away by water and ice. Silt is mainly found near the river, lake, and other bodies of water. It is smooth and has a fine texture that holds water better than sand. It is used in combination with sand and clay to produce loam. It is more fertile compared to the three types of soil. It is more fertile compared to loam, sand, and clay. It is used in agriculture to improve soil fertility. Each soil type differs in color, texture, odor, and its ability to hold water. Some soil are good for planting while others are not. The presence of different kind of vegetative plants in a place is evidence of good quality of soil in the area or locality. Sometimes, a combination of soil is observed in some areas of the country. Okay, now let's try this activity. Know the difference. Compare and contrast the particle as to size, texture, and color of the types of soil. Choose from the words inside the shape that should be placed on the blanks. Then, based on the completed characteristics in the table, answer the questions that follow. The size of sand is big. Silt is medium. And what is the size of clay? Loam is the combination of silt, sand, and clay. The color of sand is light in color. The color of silt is brown to black. The color of clay is any shade of yellow to brown to red depending on the dominant minerals. And what is the color of loam? Ability to absorb water or to hold water. Sand. How about silt? Silt hold minimal amount of water. Clay hold much water. And loam hold minimal amount of water. In texture, sand is rough due to presence of coarse grains and gritty. What is the texture of silt? How about clay? Clay grains cannot be felt and sticky when wet. Loam is a combination of silt and sand. Okay, now let's check your answer. The size of clay is small. 2. The color of loam is dark. Number 3. The ability to hold water of sand. Yes, sand does not hold water. And number 4. The texture of silt. Yes, the texture of silt is powdered-like. Okay, based on the completed characteristics on the table, let's answer the questions that follow. Number 1. How will you compare the sizes of sand, silt, and clay particles? Right. Based on the table, the size of sand is big, while silt is medium, and the clay is small and extremely fine. 2. Compare the ability of sand and clay to hold water. Yes, based on the table, sand does not hold water, while clay hold much water. The last question, among the types of soil, which has the best characteristics to grow plants? Why do you think so? Yes, you are right. Loamy soil is ideal to grow plants because it holds plenty of moisture but also drains well so that sufficient air can reach the roots. Now let's try another activity. My kind of soil. Compare and contrast water absorbability of soil. Investigate the ability of the types of soil to grow plants. These are the materials needed. 3 empty pots or cans with the same number of holes on the bottom. Then 30 mango seeds, clay, sand, and loam soil, ruler, and water. Here are the procedures. 1. Put sand in pot A, clay on pot B, and loam in pot C. Plant 10 mango seeds in each pot. Place the pots in an area where they receive equal amounts of air and sunlight. Water each pot with a half-filled glass of water every other day for 1 week. Collect the water that comes out of the holes of each pot. Observe the amount of water that is drained from the pots. Observe the growth of the seed in each pot for 1 week. On the 7th day, measure the height of the seedlings using ruler. Okay, now let's answer the guide questions. Which type of soil does water pass through the holes of the pots easily? That's right, sand. Sand cannot hold water and nutrients well. Water easily passes through sand soil. Which type of soil has the smallest amount of water drained from the holes of the pots? Yes, that is clay. Clay has poor water drainage. The water is absorbed slowly and is retained for a long time. The water clogs in the soil that limits plants' roots from getting oxygen. How will you compare the ability of the 3 types of soil to absorb water? Yes, clay absorbs water slowly. It has poor water drainage, and sand cannot hold water. Water easily passes through the sand soil, and loam holds minimal amount of water. Which pot has the tallest and healthiest seedlings after a week of observation? Obviously, loam soil has the tallest and healthiest plants after a week of observation. And number 5, can you tell which kind of soil is best for growing plants? Why? Right. Loam is the best soil for growing plants. Loam can absorb enough water and has a good water drainage that provides good flow of air. It does not dry out in summer or clogs with water during rainy days. Soil is a system into which energy and matter from the sun, the atmosphere, and the living organism penetrates and interacts. It is a system because it is composed of many different parts or layers. Each layer has a special function to perform. Pedologists or soil scientists study the vertical section of soil, showing the nature and sequence of its various layers. Okay, now let us discuss the layers of the soil. O horizon, or the organic layer zone. It is a surface horizon that is comprised of organic material in stages of decomposition. It is most prominent in forested areas where there is the accumulation of debris fallen from trees. The O horizon is thin in some soil, thick in others, and not present at all in other soil. Then, next is A horizon, or the topsoil, the uppermost layer of the soil. This layer is rich with organic materials called humus and with minerals needed for plant growth. Then B horizon, or the subsoil. Subsoil is composed of loosely arranged rocks, sand, and clay. This layer is very rich in minerals that drain from topsoil. When topsoil is washed out, the subsoil alone cannot support plant life. Next is sea horizon, or the parent rock. The parent rock is composed of rocks that are slowly breaking apart. It does not contain necessary nutrients and water needed for plant growth. The last one is our horizon, or what we call the bedrock. The bedrock is the lowest of the soil layer. It contains materials that are good for constructing building and making roads. No plant life can survive in this layer. Now, to check your understanding, level the column with the correct type of soil. What is being described in each column? 1. It contains humus. It is very rich in nutrients that plants need. It is dark brown or black in color. 2. It sticks together when wet. It is used to make potteries and sculptures. It can be found in the mountain. 3. It has a coarse texture. It is found in seashores. It is used in building houses, bridges, and roads. 4. It is present in river bottoms as sediments. It is larger than clay but smaller than sand. It has a fine texture. Now compare your answer. Do you get all the numbers right? Great! I know you are now ready to answer the post test. Enjoy learning!